Hello and welcome to Whatever Floats Your Boat. So I'm going to do this short video for actually one single reason. I was supposed to meet one of my best friends today for coffee, but she cancelled on me, and I really did a nice hairdo because I got my hair cut. So let's start at the beginning. I got my hair cut in the last weekend. I'm not entirely happy with it. I think I've done it up now, but I think I look a bit like an ugly boy. We wanted to meet. She hasn't seen my hair yet, and she's really pretty, so I feel very self-conscious about myself when I see her usually. So I always do up my hair, but then she cancelled on me, and I decided I need to do a video so that this is somehow justified. So here goes nothing. No, but what I wanted to talk about is actually something that I've been wanting to talk about for some time. I'm at the moment reading this amazing book by Ken Robinson. I don't know if you know him. He's a very good expert on education, and also a fighter for a better education system, which I highly support. And this book that I'm reading currently is called The Element: How Finding Your Passion Changes Everything. And it is a book. It's like a plethora of stories where people talk, or where he interviewed people who have found their element, which he defines as a passion that you're not only good at, but that, or let's say a skill that you're not only good at, or a thing that you're not only good at, but that you feel truly passionate about. And he calls it to be in your element. And I mean, my parents have always been fighting for children to find their path, which is why they founded their Montessori school, and I attended it. And this is why I'm very interested in the subject. But yes, I don't know if you know Ken Robinson. He did this amazing TED Talk. You should watch it. It's great. And I decided to buy the book. And yeah, so let's talk about the book. As I said, it is a great collection of stories. And there was one story that I'm going to tell you in a minute, but I'm actually going to tell it to you now because it's really great and I don't want to wait for it. So as I said, there are a lot of people in here, people who have found their element via various ways, very interesting stories. One of them, and this is leading up to the next point, was the story of Arianna Stassinopoulos, who became Arianna Huffington, and who was the founder of the Huffington Post, which you might be familiar with. She's Greek. And she browsed a magazine when she was a teenager, and she saw a picture of Cambridge in it. And she went to her mom and she said, "This is the university I want to attend." And everyone laughed at her. They were like, "This is one of the best universities. You can't get into it. It's too expensive." But her mother took her seriously, and she looked for options, how she could actually, whether it was a possibility to attend Cambridge. And in the end, Arianna got a scholarship, I think a full scholarship. And she actually went to Cambridge. And I think it's very interesting what she writes in here for me, because I'm a woman and she's a feminist as well. And she just writes about how she came into this Cambridge world in which I guess women still have a very tough job fitting in, as it is strongly structured and defined by men. And she said it was such a blessing to not know how renowned and important this school was, at least not being fully aware as if you had grown up in the UK. And yeah, and she soon became, what was she? She got her first taste of leadership, came in a situation in which I was a blissfully ignorant outsider. It was in college when I became president of the Cambridge Union Debating Society. And since I had grown up in Greece, I had never heard of the Cambridge Union or the Oxford Union and didn't know about their place in English culture. And so she wasn't deterred from doing it. And that actually led to a career in journalism. And then she founded the Huffington Post. What I think is really inspiring is not only all these people who write about their lives and who share their stories and kind of inspire people to do the same, because I think that is crucial, and I'm experiencing it a lot in my life. And I think it's very I dare say, I don't have numbers, I don't have statistics, but I dare say that most people living in countries where you would have the infrastructure to pursue what you want to do not pursue what they want to do. I dare say it's 90+% of people who settle for something that they don't want to do, which sounds like money, like studying economics or law or medicine. And you settle for it because it sounds good, but ultimately you're not happy. And I think what he writes in this book, and what I strongly believe, is that our present school systems rather deter children from pursuing their own path and making them try to fit in rather than to stick out and do what they want to do. And it is a lot of weighing down, like, well, you have to earn money, which is true, and you have to do this, and you have to get a good reputation, you have to get status and things, and not like, it's rather like what will make you financially, and like what will give you a good status financially, rather than what will make you happy. So that is the first thing that I think is very inspiring about this book, and this is definitely for people, especially when you have found your element and you have struggled at school, you've been an outsider for pursuing what you wanted to do. I think this book would be great because you will find a lot of people that exactly know what you've been through. But there's also this other note that I wrote where I'm going to do like a seamless transition. As I said, Arianna Huffington, she wrote about why so many women especially still struggle to pursue specific traits in their careers because they're deterred by the process of being successful, probably. And what she wrote was, sorry, I'm just a bit stuck here, but what she wrote was, I'm struck by how often, when I asked women to blog for the Huffington Post, they had a hard time trusting that what they had to say was worthwhile, even established writers. So often, I think, we as women stop ourselves from trying because we don't want to risk failing. We put such a premium on being approved of, we become reluctant to take risks. Women still have an uneasy relationship with power and the traits necessary to be a leader. Okay, this could now be considered to be racist, sexist, but I think it's really true. Like, I think it resonates with me, because I think failure, I mean, I've talked about failure in all breadth and width and length, is a very basic factor of what is wrong with our society and why especially creative pursuits are so difficult to achieve, because failure is stigmatized in our school systems. We are taught that committing a mistake is the worst thing you could do. So ultimately, a mistake is the worst thing you can do. And with our testing structures, we actually promote that you get one chance at doing something, and if you fail, you don't get a chance to redo it, practically. Which I think is horrendous. It's absolutely terrible. And then there's, of course, also like that people cannot be individuals because it's like a very mainstream hegemonic culture, but this is a different topic. Anyway, what I'm talking about is that this idea of like this fear of failure is so paralyzing, I think, in many aspects. People don't dare to take risks. People don't try. But I do think still, sadly, that especially in the career sphere, women have bigger problems with that. And I know that from my personal experience. I'm so deadly seeking for approval. It's getting better now, but it's been like at school, at university, it was horrible. I was seeking approval of everybody, and the most of the professors who hated me and who were just terrible teachers, and I still needed their approval, although I did not even respect them as a teacher because they were such terrible teachers. And so yes, it does resonate with me. It definitely I cannot understand this idea of failure and how it can paralyze you in what you want to do, which is very present in my situation. And I think for many other women, because I mean, I have girlfriends, and with girlfriends, I mean like just friends that are girls. And I have two sisters, so I hear it pretty much from everyone. It's like, and when I compare it to my male friends, I have to concede that most of my male friends have an easier job not to live off the approval of other people, but just, not to care too much what other people think. So that is a very interesting aspect, I think, of the book. And yeah, so it's a great read. I just wanted to quickly do this video to introduce you to it. You definitely read it. It has great stories of inspiration and motivation. And I think for all the women out there, I just want to say, don't give up fighting. We don't need approval. We're great as we are. And any job a man can do, he can do better.